Okay, so we're live, and I'm here early, and I always wonder about my lighting. So when you see this, let me know. Wait, this is better, or that is better. I don't know. I think after a while, for me, I just think, okay, whatever happens. So we're getting started. I'm getting started. Okay, good. Okay, that's perfect. So we have 5 minutes. As I say when I come on all the time, I'm always coming on early because that's how my mom told me to do. Be early and not late. And also I come early to make sure my iPad is working and that I have enough minutes on it. If I don't, I can always run and get my the charger. But I think I'm good. And I just try to talk and let you know stuff. So I'll tell you what I'm doing and what today entails, and then what I'm going to do later on tonight. And that's how this is going to go. It's nice. No one's here yet. I just am early. So I'm not going to talk right now. I'm going to wait and see. Also, I'm going to wait and see. I have my phone by me. And I'm going to look and see if I can see your comments on my phone. And if I can, that means I'll be able to talk to you. But also, I think on this, it asks if people want to say something or be a part of this. And so I can ask you that too. So I'll experiment with that today. I'll experiment to say who wants to be on and ask questions of anything you want. I'll ask that. Anything you want. I'll ask. I'm watching myself right now, but I'm not sure if it does or not. I'm watching myself right now, but I'm not sure if it does. Oh, I can see my own lighting. Wait a minute. This is perfect. Let me see my own lighting. This is the light, and this is. Oh, I can see my own lighting. Wait a minute. This is no light. This is perfect. Let me see my own lighting. Mm-hmm. This is the light, and this is. Okay. If I'm really close, because that's no light, and this is. This is light. Yeah. That's no light, and this is. It looks the same to me. I don't know. It's like I know you, right? It's like you're in my house with me. Okay. Or maybe if I remove this orange. Right? It's like you're in my house with me. Maybe if I remove this orange. Right? It's like you're in my house. Way too much light. Okay, so. Way too much light. We have 1 minute before we start. We have 1 minute, and I took off these orange guards. This, like you guys know, it's my first ring light, and I'm putting the orange guards back because I think it might be better with the orange guards. And but I'm lucky it's not time yet, so nobody's here. But I'm sure you'll see it later because it's the very beginning of this live. And tomorrow I'm not going to come on this early, but since it's you know, yeah, I like it. I can figure things out. Yep. And when this orange, the last one goes on, then I'll start. And also, I thank you very much for your patience when you see this. I think it might be too dark. Okay, whether it's dark or not, it doesn't matter. It is 6 o'clock, straight up. It's 6 o'clock on the nose, and I would like to start the workshop. Hi, my name is Dr. Latifa Walinga, and I am the CEO of the Coaching Kiva. And what I do in the Coaching Kiva is I help couples who are going through any kind of hard turmoil work it out so they can have a loving, understanding, communicative relationship the same way they wanted to have. And then I also help couples, if they're ready to divorce, I help them split and still remain friends. I work with individuals and help them navigate their lives, the rough patches. I stick with them every step of the way. And I work with people for personal growth. So I do those things, and I really love what I do. So the next thing is why I do what I do. I do what I do because in all of those areas in my life, I've needed help, and my marriage didn't work. I didn't know why it didn't work, and that was interesting to me. And so I learned and went to school and got information and got degrees and such and started helping people. My personal life was not working out. I didn't know how to fix it, but I worked it out. And I think people need to have a coach or someone around to help them. And then personal growth is always a good thing. I've always been interested in that. Okay, so my expectations for this group. The expectations are that when you get to this workshop, you engage. If I ask questions, if I say put in the chat, you put the answer in the chat. If I say do your homework, you make sure you turn your homework in. You just post your homework. It's only one sentence. Post your homework, and there's always prizes. The last two prizes, Monday's prize was an 8-slide PowerPoint presentation and called Shutting Down, and Noma's won that. Yesterday's prize was 21 things to avoid in your relationship, and the person that what's the word, that engaged the most was Noma's, and so Noma's got the praise again. Somebody else with a few people were engaging, like later on, but when I counted at the last moment, she's the one, so she got the prize again today. But today's prize is an ebook that I wrote some years ago called The Honey Jar, and it's Tips and Tools for Couples Seeking Ways for True Love. It's a long title. It's a small little book, 48 pages. But when I read it after I wrote it, I realized that book's about self-love. It's a good book, full of just stories. It's only 48 pages. So whoever wins today for posting the most and engaging the most wins the Honey Jar book, and you get it the same day. I just email it to you because it's hard copy, but also it's an ebook because it's on my computer. So you can get that today. So that's what's happening today, and if you have anything to say, any stories, you can tell me. So I'm going to get with it. I'm always happy to do this, and I have my trusty clock, so it'll be no more than 30 minutes. I know you guys are busy. So today's workshop is, and I do have some glasses. Thank you. Today's workshop is how to control your emotions. I think if you think it's important to know how to control your emotions, please put yes in the chat. Yes, I think it's important. Just put it in the chat. Yes, I think it's important to know how to control your emotions. Because people think they don't control their emotions and they let their emotions run them. But your emotions are something that you control, something that you're responsible for, and that's what it is. If you think your emotions control you and you allow them, that means you're living by default. You want to live deliberately. You want to do things on purpose. You want to have the feeling that you like. The key is good feelings. And how do you get those? You get those from a good feeling thought. But if you think that your emotions control you, say, yes, I do. They can, my emotions control me. But if you know that they don't, you have something to do with them. It's all about the words you say. So have your paper in your hand, your worksheet in your hand. And I got my glasses today, so now if somebody's talking to me there, I can see, yes, 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 Cassandra, that's right. Yes. But you can control your emotions, Cassandra. They don't control you. If you think they do, but they don't. Now I see the glare of my glasses, so I can't wear them too long, you guys. I have Poindexter glasses on. Okay, so your emotions are, what emotions are, is there chemicals released in response to interpretation of a specific trigger. Now, we know what triggers are from Monday. We know triggers are memories of a traumatic experience that we've had. Any experience that we've had in our lives in the past that were traumatic, caused pain, fear, deep anger, an injustice, something, and you've held on to that, they cause triggers. If those situations that happened years ago, if you didn't take care of those situations, didn't handle how you feel about them, didn't resolve those feelings and emotions, then those things would trigger you. Something a person can say or a way they look, any physiology, this was on Mondays, it can trigger you, make you act in ways that you don't want to act, and make you not really sure about why you're doing some things or why you're behaving in certain ways. Those triggers cause that. So emotions are chemicals released in response to our interpretation of that trigger. However, whatever meaning you give to the trigger, that's what it is. So what meaning do you give to the trigger? Yeah. What meaning do you give to the trigger? Ask yourself, when you have an emotion, it's because you have a feeling. It might be a good one. You might have an emotion because you love someone and they were gone, or you love someone and they're back. But that's what an emotion is. So go back on the very top of this worksheet, because yesterday's takeaways was insecure, angry, and uneasy. I forgot about that. So on your worksheet, the very top line, can you see that? Yeah, the very top line, you want to write insecure, angry, uneasy for yesterday's recaps. It's important because these worksheets, you could always refer to them. Put them in a little, staple them together, put them in a little folder so you won't lose them, but you can always refer to this worksheet. So now you know what emotions are, but there are three frames of mind that are often grouped together and called an emotion, or they're grouped together for the same thing. So in your worksheet, the very first thing you want to write down is emotion. One of these three frames, a frame of mind that we can go to, the first one is emotion. And we know that happens when we're triggered. Something happens, and it makes it we give it a memory. We give that memory a meaning. It's in your memory that this happens, and you give it a meaning. It has nothing great going on, but when you give it meaning, then you hold on to it. If it happened, you let it go, it didn't matter. But since you gave it meaning, it matters, and you hold on to it, and that's an emotion. Think about what have you given meaning to that's not really positive things in your life? What you want to do is, when you go back in your journal, if you have a journal, and you write about the things that you hold on to, you can see that, and then you decide to let it go, because it's not that important. If it causes you unhappiness, it's not important, because what we're here for is to be in joy, and to enjoy ourselves, to grow. Remember the 6 human needs? We've got to grow. So in the first space, put emotions. It's a frame of mind that we have. In the second one, you want to put feelings. Write feelings in there. And I'm going to tell you what feelings, what they are. feelings happen as we begin to integrate the emotions. We think about it, we let it soak in. So emotions come first because it's this thing that happened, and we remember a triggering event, and we give a certain meaning to it. So we have that emotion that occurs in our bodies. Remember, it's a chemical reaction. So it's happening in our body. And then what's happening in our body, the next thing, we start to integrate it. We start to integrate it. It turns into a feeling. So the emotion first, and then the feeling. So emotions like something that goes on, and you put meaning to it. So there's stuff going on in your head. And then once you do that, it turns into a feeling. You start to feel something. If this is making sense to you, say, yes, this is making sense. If it's making sense to you, say, yes, this is making sense. Because you start to feel that feeling. When we have feelings, we think we don't have control. That's what happens. But we do. You said, that's me. Yeah, so listen, Cassandra, because she's being the most communicative right now. So here it is. There's a story about emotions and how you really do have control of them. And then I'll tell you the third one. So in the second mark, put down feelings, and I'll tell you the story. I'll call this story the ice cream story. And then you might get, and you probably will understand, how most people think they don't control their emotions. But with this story, you'll understand how you do control your emotions and how you can work with that, how you can navigate it. It's up to you, and you can do it. So if you're feeling sad, angry, insecure, afraid, jealous, anything else, you can change those things. Those are emotions, those are feelings, those are emotions and feelings. You can change it. So here's an ice cream story. There's a little girl, she's 5 years old. She comes from a family that they're vegans. They eat whole, natural, good food. She's never had ice cream, dairy ice cream, or she's never had anything like that, or anything that even remotely sweet, because they're really strict with her until she turned 5. They go, on your birthday, when you turn 5 years old, you can have an ice cream cone, or cashew milk cone, or soy milk cone, something like that. She can have that for the very first time. So they go to the parlor, and they get her the cone. All the adults have theirs, and her little cousins. And this is her first experience, so she's really excited about it. That's a feeling and an emotion. She's excited. She can't wait to it. It's a new experience. So she gets her cone, and she takes her. So 4 things happen at one time. She gets it, one thing. She's excited, but first she's excited. Then she receives the cone. Then she has her first lick of the cone. When she licks the cold, icy feeling on her tongue, and it tastes the sweet strawberry, that's all in one time. And the fourth thing happened is when she licked the ice cream cone, the first lick, it fell on the ground. So she was able to taste it, be excited about it, all those things that happened, anticipation, excitement, and everything, and then it dropped to the ground. So her first emotion was, the first thing she did was it startled her. So she does that. And being 5 years old and not knowing what to do, the next thing she did was start to cry. But she wasn't going to cry for a long time. She just didn't know what to do yet because she's 5 years old. She's working with her emotions. What should I do? What's the next thing? And it takes time to process all this stuff. She's a little kid. But as soon as she got ready to cry, and she whimpered a little bit and a tear fell, all the adults came over to her. They coddled her. They pampered her. They go, oh, you're going to be okay. What do you need? What do you want? They did all those things for her. So what happened, some of her human needs, you guys learned this yesterday, but some of her human needs were being met. She felt certain, because she's already good with her house, so she was that, but she felt that uncertainty. She got that variety, the different thing. She had gotten the ice cream cone, so she felt that. Then she felt significant. She felt important because everybody came around her. So she was important. She was excited and important. So she got these human needs met. And then, of course, after, nobody thought about that. Then after she calmed down, and she didn't cry for a long time, she got a new ice cream cone and all was well. But little did she know, or anybody else think about, that when she ever got startled, upset, a little afraid, a little unsure, she would start to cry. Because when she cried, then she got her way, she got attention, and her human needs met. So she carried this around her for a long time. But finally, when she met the guy that she was thinking about being with for a long time in college, and she behaved this way, the guy told her, I don't know where you got that behavior from and how you think that works, but that's not good for me. That does not work for me. So she had to think about it and think about what she was doing because she had no idea that wasn't the best way to behave. So she decided, okay, she controlled her emotion because she realized what she was doing. When you get upset or afraid or jealous or insecure, something's going on, especially if you're getting something out of it. If you do these behaviors that are negative behaviors and you get some type of reward, monitor what you do and find out what that reward is. It's doing something for you. We don't behave in ways that are not nice unless we get an advantage. It gives us something. So you ask yourself, what does it do for me to feel upset, to feel scared, or to cry, or to be mad for a long time? What do I get out of it? You can control the way you feel. And it's as simple as a thought. You control your emotions with a thought. Does that make sense to you? If it makes sense to you, say, yes, this makes sense to me. You can say, yes, this makes a lot of sense to me. And I'll tell you how you can do that, and we'll do an exercise. But the next space, we have emotions, we have feelings, and we have moods. Third space, put moods. And moods are pretty general. They're not tied to any incident or anything. These are my notes. And moods heavily influenced by your environment, like the weather, the lighting, the people around us, or by our thinking, what we're focusing on, what we're thinking about, can put you in a mood. Just say you're at home thinking about something really great that happened to you last night or yesterday, or that you want to happen to you. It feels good. It makes you happy. It puts you in a really good mood. A really good mood. And moods last for a little while. They can last a day, a week, a couple of days. They can. But it's up to you. So when we think, I'm in a bad mood and I can't get out of it, you don't know how to get out of it. But the way you get out of it, all you have to do is change your thought. Just change your thought. You say, how do I change my thought? Think of something different. So let's do this exercise right now. Okay. So what do you have a thought, a memory, something that you can think about that makes you smile right now? Yes or no? Do you have anything you think about that right now makes you smile? Just think about it. I'll tell you what mine is. Mine used to be my dog, Sydney. When I had any kind of feeling that wasn't what I wanted, because I like to be with a great feeling all the time. When you feel good and happy, your vibrations are up in the universe, and that makes good things come to you. But when you're not feeling happy, then they don't. And there's two ways to feel. Like there are layers. So you can feel happy consciously, but then an undercurrent of not happiness. And how you can tell that's there is the feeling you get in your stomach, or mine comes like right here. Sometimes it can be anxiety, or you can have that from too much coffee, or if nothing's bothering you, ask yourself, where this feeling coming from? And when you have those kind of feelings, what I always do is think about a thought that gives me a better feeling, and I call those better feeling thoughts. And this might seem trivial, but it's really important because you can control your emotions with a thought. That gives you power over your life. You're not living your life by default. You're living your life deliberately, or you're having your emotion deliberately. When you have a negative emotion, you ask yourself, do I want this emotion? And you can control like this. Do I want these emotions? If you say, yeah, I do want it, how long do I want to feel this way? How long do I want to be upset? How long do I want to be jealous? How long do I want to be insecure? How long? If you're saying, oh, that doesn't make any sense, Dr. Olinga, it does. Because you are the one that controls how you feel. No one makes you feel a way. People say, he made me feel so upset. He did this to me. He made me feel that way. Or she made me feel this way. No, you allowed yourself to feel that way. And once we decide to take responsibility for ourselves, our actions, our behavior, our emotions, then our life will start shifting. We'll start seeing our lives and ourselves differently. We are not victims. We are in control of our lives. Yes or no? Do you want to be? I think you do. So, there are two primary emotions. The two primal emotions. Two of them. What do you think they are? I have the answer. What do you think they are? What are your two primal emotions? You can just put them down in the chat and then, or in the box, the comment box, and then when I see this later on, I can see what you guys wrote. Okay, there are two primal emotions. That means primal, like deepest inside, very first emotions. There are two: love and fear. Love and fear. Those are the two primal emotions. Now let me tell you how you can work with love and fear. How you can work with love and fear is like this. You work with love and fear. Love is the higher part of everything. Love is what created everything. Love is what supports us. That invisible force that supports us, helps us breathe, pumps the blood through our bodies, keeps us safe at night, makes miracles occur. That's love. Higher power, God, infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it. That's love. Fear is the ego. That voice inside you says that, oh, you can't afford that. Oh, it won't happen for you. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you better be careful. Oh, be afraid. Oh, don't try that. That's fear, and that's ego. And there's this dueling thing that all the time that we have. So when you do have a negative emotion, understand that emotion is your ego. If you understand what was happening with you, then you have more power, meaning more control over you and what you want to happen to you, what you want to feel like, what you want to think about, how you want to raise your vibration inch by inch by inch. Understand love and fear, those two things, just those two things. Which one would you rather have? Now we do this thing with both of them. We have this thing with both of them because they're a part of us. The higher power that made us and the ego that was made too. We got the ego. We came into the world with id, the ego, and superego. They're just ours. We didn't ask for them, but we got them. What it is, when you finally understand those voices in your head that are not doing things for you, they're not doing what you want, they're not saying stuff that you want to hear, but you don't think about what's happening or what they're saying because you're listening to them. You're not thinking about what are these voices saying? Whose voices are these? Have you ever thought about who's saying that? The voice that says you can't do that, or the voice that says you don't look good, or the voice that says you too skinny or you too fat. Do you wonder? Thank you for the hearts. Do you wonder who's saying that? Yeah, that means you're living by default if you don't wonder. Now you know that those voices in your head, because if you don't have a mental illness like that, because we all have something going on, but there are voices, which is our ego, that says, no, you can't do that. You're not good enough, or you're better than that person. You're so much cuter than that person. You're so smarter than that person. That person's stupid. You're not. That's still your ego. But once you understand what this is, and it's kind of not fair that as kids, if we learned all this as children, we'd be so superpower-esque, right? We'd be superheroes. We just know the stuff. but we still can be kind of like, right? Not really, but we still can be what we need to be and know and navigate this world that's in the way that's best for us. To shut those voices down, because we don't have to listen to the voices, but nobody thinks about what's the voice. Is that true? We just listen to it, hear it, and get stuck unless we understand what they are. Or with so, I'm just so diligent. I try for years to do stuff that doesn't work. I just keep trying because I know one day it will. So we just and then learning how to shut those voices down. It's simple. You shut those voices down with a thought. That's it. A thought. If you say that's hard, that's not you. That's the ego. Because the bigger part of you, the love aspect, is quiet. So if you hear a voice say, you can't do that, no, you're not gonna, no, that doesn't make sense. That's your ego. So you're 10 times ahead of the game because now you understand what you're dealing with, your ego and the love. The love is where you want to go. So when a thought comes to you that's not cool, and you're going, I don't like this thought, then change it with a different one. You know, whatever thought that makes you happy, and you smile about it immediately, and that does work. So you do that, and everything's going to start changing. But you need to do it. You can't just talk about it. You got to do it. Okay, so there's a little space right here. It's your homework, but let's read this because it's your homework. That just means do it and then post it. Post it in the group. If you post this in the group, you get whoever posts their homework in the group first gets the prize, which is my book, The Honey Jar. And I might give you a honey jar and something else because I'm generous like that. I might give you the book and the 21 things, or the book and the PowerPoint slide. I don't know because this is hump day. If you're here day 3, because people don't finish things. They start it, and then they do 1 day, 2 day, and they attention spans are somewhere else. If you're here today, if you're here in day 3, either now or in the replay, because people are other places. If you're here today or later on today or tomorrow, then do your homework. That lets me know that you have paid attention, you are important to you, and so is your relationship. It's important to you. And yeah, but I'm going to have know the winner by tomorrow afternoon. I got home really late today, so I was very late posting the winner, but I'll know by tomorrow afternoon or later. But if I decide I'm going to a cancer fundraiser when I leave here, and if I decide to come home and say the winner is, I'll do that too. But yeah, but so your homework is this. But but I want you to think about it. It says write a brief statement about which one you've been dancing with, and how has it affected your life. So that what I mean is because I like to write, so I said which one have you been dancing with? It takes 2 to tango. So which emotion have you been dancing with mostly? The fear or the love? What does your life show you? Like before, my life showed me that I had been dancing with fear. I had no idea. But I was dancing with fear. And I love to dance. But I had no idea because I didn't know what I know now. So I love when I learn something and I pass it on. But I learned it years ago. But this is my first online live in Facebook kind of workshop. And I really like it. And so I can just teach you. I can teach my classes and my courses. That's so cool. So, yeah. First, I was dancing with fear. Those voices in my head, I didn't know what they were. But once I got really sick years ago, really, really sick, and I didn't know what I'm telling you, but something told me, I started to see myself well, see myself walking, see myself strong, because I wasn't. But I visualized it, and I believed it. And I didn't have one book to read to tell me what to do. The universe told me what to do. I just knew it, and I just did it. Here I am. So, which one? That means I was dancing with fear. I didn't even know it, though. I know now what it was, but I didn't know then. So the voices in your head that aren't cool, that's your ego. So you say, you want to think in your head, think about a thought that makes you smile immediately. So that's your homework. So just think about that and post it as soon as you can in the group. And so, oh yeah, I'm right on time. post it in the group. So here, the last one says our emotions can be shifted, and you write by, it says by, and you write a thought. In this last line here, write a thought, because that can shift your mood, it can shift your emotion, it can shift how you feel, it can shift it all like that. Well, the emotion started, but when you change your mind, that can change the feeling and your mood. And you want to change that for the better. You want to be in joy, and you want to be happy. So, we have gone through the worksheet. Somebody's posting a lot. I think I'll know later, but whoever's posting right now a lot that I can see, you probably have won the prize. And guess what though? It's so cool. Then we have 2 more days and 2 more prizes. So I thank you, Cassandra, for sure. I can't read the others up here, for being here today. I appreciate you. I thank you. I thank you for loving yourself enough to be in this group and to come to these live classes. If you need to see them again, you can, because number 1, 2, and 3, they're all in the group, because I'm not taking them down because my units doesn't work. So they'll be in the group. And so I'm going to sign off. I love what I do. I love this. I hope you got something out of it. If you got anything out of this, say, yes, I got something out of it. Give me some hearts. Yes, I loved it. If you want to learn anything else, you should post. I want to learn about this or about that, because like right now, I'm going to end. If there was something else that somebody that posted they want to learn about, I take this time to talk about it. But they didn't. Yeah. You're welcome. You're so welcome. So post anything that you want to learn. DM me if you want to learn anything or need some help by me. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Let me tell you, you have 2 more days left. Care about yourself enough to be here in this group, in this course. That's called self-love. So whoever's here, I'll see you tomorrow. And those of you who are in other countries, other cities, just watch it when you can. And yeah. Have a great Wednesday, you guys. Bye-bye.